Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's Chris here. I want to bring you guys a little update on Litecoin and also Digibyte. We're going to be looking at them. And also let's throw in Bitcoin too, since that just covers everything, guys. Everything goes off Bitcoin, so let's just do all three together. We'll go through this quick, make it fast, and no problems here. So if you guys could like, subscribe, all that, I really appreciate it. And what have you guys been doing here? What were you guys doing when this big candle here, this candle of doom came in? So were you guys shorting? Were you guys in a long position? What was going on? I'd like to hear your guys' opinion down there. So personally, me guys, I was in some cash. I was waiting, and I made some buys here down around like it was the $50, $51 mark. And the reason why I did that, I was getting some coins for the pump that I believe is going to happen. And the little pump, I don't know how big it's going to be. It's dependent on Bitcoin, but there should be some type of a pump when Litecoin is listed on Gemini, and it's listed tomorrow, I do believe. And then I think I was reading on the 17th or so, and don't quote me on that, guys, but I believe it was the 17th that you'll actually be able to trade on that or whatnot. And I don't know if it's starting to get baked in right now that Gemini is going to accept Litecoin on the 13th, or it's going to go live on the 13th, whatnot, because we've kind of seen it go from around that $51, $52 up to, let's see, at the highs here, guys, so far, 54, 50, somewhere right around that range. We're up almost 5% today. And if we could form this here, guys, if we could close exactly how we're at right now, this is a harami pattern that we're having with basically a tweezer bottom here at the bottom. So that would be really good for in terms of a little bit of a reversal here. So I just wanted to have some coins ready in terms of, obviously, guys, you can have your long-term stack, you can have your trading stack, have a cash stack, different things like that, so you can make moves like this. But I wanted to have some of these coins for short-term in case we do get a nice little spike of, like Ethereum Classic, you know, of 12 to 20% or something, where you're able to make more coins and you're able to sell them off then and buy them back once you have that pullback. So that's kind of my plan, guys. I do think we're probably going to have a little bit more of an upswing, maybe make it up to this, you know, $60 mark or so, which would be nice, you know, because we're all the way down here at one point, guys, to $50. So that's a nice little move, even if we can make it up to 60. Further resistance above that's going to be the close there around 63, and then the wicks at around $66. So those are going to be the overhead resistance. Then the main one here, guys, is going to be around $70. So that's what we're looking at right now for Litecoin. You can see on the RSI on the daily chart, we're starting to move back upwards a little bit. But obviously, guys, you want to be patient. You want to see where this closes today. That's going to be a really big deal. But right now, we are in that harami pattern with the tweezer bottoms. Essentially, we're really close to that tweezer bottom right there. And then what I also want to do here is look at the 4 hour on each one. So the 4 hour, we have our overhead resistances, which are these moving averages, guys. Okay, so always pay attention to those moving averages. Right now, we're going against the trend. And remember that. The trend is your friend. And right now, we're playing reactions and we're playing pumps for Litecoin. That's at least my strategy. That's at least my goal right now. Okay, so we had this big drop, this massive candle. We got down to that $50 or so. And then you can see we started moving back up. And right now, we're above this 5-day moving average right here. And this is my EMA, the 5-day EMA. And that's one I really like to pay attention to for my shorter term, okay? So right now we're up above that. We're holding that as support. Now, above that, we have our 20-day moving average, and that's at $54.75. So that's overhead resistance right now on the 4-hour chart. So we need to get up above that, and we need to turn that into support, okay? Remember, guys, when we say need for things like that, that doesn't mean it's going to happen. That's what we need to happen. That's what we hope is going to happen, okay? So you always got to play both sides, and you have to be very careful as well, okay? And then the next overhead resistance here is going to be our 50-day moving average, which is at 57. So we very well potentially could get a pump up to that, but we're going to need good volume, guys, and we haven't seen it yet. So I'm paying really close attention to the volume, and I'm paying attention to tomorrow, that October 13th, because that's a really big deal. Gemini is going to be what? Or Litecoin is going to be on Gemini with Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and then I believe Zcash. So there's not too many on there, and it's really good that we'll be able to use Gemini, which is a major secure exchange, and we're going to be able to trade on it. So that's going to bring more volume into Litecoin, or at least that's the thoughts, okay? You can kind of go back and look at Ethereum Classic, and that will show you, like, the pumps. You saw that it got listed. There was a nice pump for a day or two, and then there was a sell-off, and that's kind of what I'm anticipating here. But I also have a plan for the downside as well if it doesn't happen. So that's where you have to have your stop losses, different things in place, looking at it, you know, where's it going to close, what's the close look like of the day, that type of stuff, guys. So really pay attention to that, okay? So that's what I'm looking for on Litecoin. We're at $53.60 right now. You can see the RSI. It's trying to make moves, trying to make those higher lows, higher highs. We're going to see if that continues right there. But overall, guys, it's tough when these moving averages are overhead. We need really big volume to come into play. Okay? So the next one we're going to be looking at is Digibyte. We're going to start on the one-day chart as well. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. All right. So guys, you can even kind of see here. So this is a trend line I've had drawn for quite a while on Digibyte, this line in white. So we broke down through this. We wicked through it, but we came back up. Okay? So right here, we closed right on the line, and right here today, we're hoping that we can, again, have this Harami pattern and that we can close right in here, guys. That'd be really nice. But we're also going to have continued volume. The volume's just been really low, guys. And when the volume's low like that, you can even see, look at this big candle, and the volume's not even that big because there's just not that much buying and selling in that area right there. Okay? Overhead resistance, same deal. We got our 5, we got our 20, and our 50 overhead. Remember, guys, that's the trend. That's what we're fighting. So when you're catching these reactions, if you buy low, most likely you want to have it come up and then sell, okay? Trying to accumulate these coins, and then let it pull back again. That's how I like to play things. That's how, you know, it's been able to be prosperous in a way of riding these things up, guys. And then when you see these confirmations, I mean, look at all these wicks up here, guys. You see how the bulls were being rejected, and what happened? Went right back down. And that's a really big deal, guys. You can see it fighting all in here. You had these doji candles essentially right here. And then you had this massive, massive bearish engulfing candle of this candle here. Then we got pushed down really far. So obviously, guys, on Digibyte, it's all going to depend on what Bitcoin's doing. That just is what it is. There's no listing or anything coming up that I know of, at least, to Digibyte right now. Digibyte's up 3.43%. You can see a little hook happening here, wanting to go to the upside on the RSI. Now let's take a look at it on the 4-hour. See if anything's looking a little different. You can see some volume coming in right here, guys. You can see that volume on the 4-hour right there. Let's see where our RSI levels got down to. So at one point, guys, we were down to about that 22, 23. Then our moving averages, we are up above the 5 here, so we'd like to continue to stay up above that. Treat that as support. Overhead resistance, we're looking at about 2, we'll just roughly say about 2.4 cents, guys, there for our 20. Then our 50 is going to be about 2.48, right in that range. So those are things you really want to pay attention to, because to get through these, you have to have big volume to get through them. That's a big deal. Okay? Let's take one more look here, just how this pattern's forming. Okay. And guys, you see after these big drops, always pay attention to that. Look at the volume here. Look how much higher it is than even over in here. Okay? So that's a big deal. And then take a look at this candle. Came pretty close to having a hammer candle here. This one here, guys. And you also had this. If you don't want to call it a hammer candle, because there's a little wick on top, and I don't think the body is 2 to 3 times as long as what the wick is here. But this would definitely be a bullish engulfing candle, because this candle here engulfed this right here. Okay? Then we got pushed up. Then we've really been choppy and moving sideways. And that's with all these wicks, you can tell how choppy this is. You want to stay out of these ranges. This is not the time to play when you're seeing that chop like that. Okay? So that's why I haven't been covering Digibyte a ton, because it's just really been up and down movements, guys. Not a lot happening. So that's why I want to bring you on that. And then let's take a look at Bitcoin. All right. So let's first go to the 1 day. All right, guys. And what I do like to see with Bitcoin, though, you see that massive fall that we have, guys. Look down here, though, how we've just been kind of forming this bottom along. And that's why we really need to pay attention to that. If we can continue these higher lows, which you kind of see here was a higher low than we had here, then we just been kind of moving up slightly, okay? Because this here was a this was a higher low than here, and then we kind of broke down through that. You see that trend line that I had there for quite a while? When we broke that, what happened? We fell down really hard, okay? Now, another thing we want to pay attention to is overall support at around this $6,000. So let's find 6,000. You can see we almost wicked right to it. There's 6,000. Okay, guys, that needs to be held. If that's not held, we could go for a ride. Easily down to 5,700, 5,500, right in that range. I mean, you see these guys, when the bear jumps off the cliff, the bear jumps off the cliff. Okay, the bull climbs the mountain, the bear jumps out the elevator. And that's just what it is. I mean, each one of these guys, look how far and how hard that drop is. Look at that drop. Straight down, straight down. So if we break through this right here around 6,000, I would guess, guys, around that $5,000 psychological, I really could see us testing $5,000 since we broke through it. And that was, let's see, we broke through 5,000 right around October 11th, 2017. You can see how the volume was increasing, guys. That volume increase shows that you're in that bull market. Now, volume decrease, look how low it is. That's that bear market. But there's still lots of money to be made if you're able to short, guys. So there were many people here who had two positions. Look how big that volume candle is, guys, that came in, okay, on that sell side. But there are many people who will open up a long and a short. So say you're on, what's it called, BitMEX. You could have a spot to where when we're in this little pattern here where we're having let's start from here. A low, a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high. So we got in this really tight symmetrical triangle here. Let's even draw this. So that there, got in that tight one. So guys, we're saying, all right, I'm going to have shorts in case it breaks to the downside, which it did. And I'm also going to have longs ready if it breaks to the upside. With the longs, you have your stops down in here. With the shorts, you have your stops up above just in case it goes the opposite direction. You're able to close one, keep the other one open, and therefore you're able to profit or benefit from either way that the market's going to happen. But you can see how tight this range was, and we had to have a break. You can't continue on in that range without a break. Okay? So let's zoom in even a little bit more on that. Excuse me, guys. Okay, so you saw how it was getting really tight in here. We're having those inside bars, and then from this bottom lower line, massive break. So now, guys, our best hope is that we can close about where we're at right now. If we can form this Harami pattern here, then we need continued volume to come through, and we need to follow through. We're probably going to have to set a lower high, set a higher high, right here, or a higher low, I'm sorry, and then try to get up above. And that's just how it happens, guys. So you've really got to pay attention to that stuff. And let's look at the RSI quick. But right now, guys, we're still in this bearish market, and you got to be very careful. So if you're going long on things, you have to make sure that you're playing these reactions, and you know that you potentially need to get out of it if you don't see more bullish signs, okay? So I want to bring this to you. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Please be safe. And remember, guys, continue to study, continue to learn, okay? You don't want to just be the guy with his head in the sand and not understanding what's going on and different things like that, because you really could get wrecked, and I don't want to see anyone do that. So God bless each and every one. You have a wonderful, safe weekend, and I'll hope to talk to you as soon as you can. Remember, guys, like, subscribe, all that. It really helps us out. God bless you all.